The Knapheide company started in Quincy in 1848. In the early 70s, Knapheide became the leader in building truck utility beds for the service industries.
It's exciting to hear about a company that people may not recognize, but is a great representation of like metal fabricating to me. Y'all touch so many different segments, like fabricators in general.
When you come through our floor and see what our people are doing every day, that really sells to a lot of customers. It's an amazing shop floor. We go from flat sheet metal to painted product to a truck in a very short location. There's no boredom at the company that I work for.
This episode of the Fabricator Podcast is powered by Salvagnini America, a leader in flexible automation for sheet metal processing. For more than 4 decades, Salvagnini's smart, connected solutions have helped manufacturers streamline production, boost efficiency, and stay ahead in a competitive market. With service technicians and support experts across North America, Salvagnini delivers unmatched service. Learn how flexible, easy automation can help unlock your shop's full potential at salvagnini.com. And now, back to the episode.
Hello, welcome to the Fabricator Podcast. I'm Dan Davis of the Fabricator Magazine. Sitting next to me is
Lincoln Bruner of the Tube and Pipe Journal and the Fabricator.
Today's episode is sponsored by Salvagnini. We're here at FabTech, and today's guest is Greg Schutte, Director of Fabrication at Knapheide Manufacturing in Quincy, Illinois. Great conversation, and Knapheide, if you're not familiar with them, you will be by the end of this episode. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Greg brought a history lesson.
Yeah, no, he's prepared for any question we threw at him.
1848 founding of the company. That's amazing.
A lot of history. So a lot of history with the company.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit being in Quincy, the need to willingness to bring in the farm kids.
Yeah.
And have them kind of be the problem solvers on the shop floor.
Yeah.
And that's something we've heard
a lot
over the years, and particularly as you see a lot of farmers evolve into metal fabricators.
Yes, well, and farmers are problem solvers, right? They're probably like the original self-employed person, right? So you get on a dairy farm, like he was talking about. Both my folks grew up in dairy farms. You got to do so much for yourself. You're cooking. You're butchering cattle. You're gardening, you're fixing everything around you because there's no one to call. You don't call a technician, you don't call a welder. You figure out how to weld yourself. You figure out how to pour a cement floor yourself. You figure out how to, put up rafters and beams by yourself because you have to. It's necessity is the mother of invention, right? So it's, as refreshing as it was to hear, it wasn't surprising that he would say farmers are his preferred, employee base because they come teachable and they come ready to, solve problems themselves.
Yeah. So if you need anything done around your house, reach out to L. Bruner at fmamfg.org.
Yes. Keep the emails brief, please. I'm a busy man.
That YouTube channel you're going to launch with home improvement ideas is going to be awesome.
Looking forward to it.
So anyway, I think you're going to enjoy this episode. Stay tuned and let's learn about Knapheide together.
Are you ready to inspire the next generation of manufacturing innovators? Apply for a grant to host a SparkForce manufacturing camp. SparkForce will provide your school or organization with financial support, curriculum, and marketing efforts to make your camp a success for students in your community. Don't miss this chance to make a difference. Apply today and help shape the future of the manufacturing workforce. And now, back to the episode.
Hello, welcome to this episode of the Fabricator Podcast. We're at FabTech 2025 in Chicago. On this episode, we have Greg Schutte of Knapheide down in Quincy, Illinois. And the sponsor for this episode is Salvagnini. We'd like to thank them for sponsoring it. And Greg, tell us a little bit about, first of all, let me say this. Knapheide is a great example of fabricating in the sense that people, I'm sure if you asked them if they knew about Knapheide, they wouldn't know. But if they actually, once you tell them, they see it everywhere, like in terms of the truck. So maybe tell us a little bit about the company and yourself.
We are a 6th-generation family-owned company. privately held in Quincy, Illinois. We started in 1848 building wagons. Everyone going west of the Mississippi River needed a new wagon. And then around the turn of the century, we started building wooden cabs for Model T and Model A trucks. In the late 40s, early 50s, we went into sheet metal and started making grain beds that you could haul cattle, any kind of livestock and grain in the same unit. And then in the early 70s, Knapheide became the leader in building truck utility beds for the service industries, electrical, plumbers, HVAC, any of those installers we would produce for today. Clean energy today with, all your solar operations going up, your wind turbine. I can guarantee you there's probably a Knapheide product somewhere on a lot fixing.
Oh, wow.
With a service guy fixing those products.
What kind of products are you talking about generally in those kind of service vehicles?
We would upfit trucks with a crane to lift an engine.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Generators, welders, any kind of service that would need to be done in the field, we would do. Oil reclamation, new oil going in, you name it, we would build a truck for that. Telecommunications is big for us, with all the fiber. AT&T's a customer of ours. A lot of customers, want a one-stop shop when we put a truck together. They may have a computer. They may have inverters. They may have in the old days with payphones,
Yeah.
they had a coin box. We upfit those trucks with those products all along. In the 80s, Knapheide started moving away from agriculture into the service industry. We continue to evolve. We're less than 0.1% ag-related today. So.
Oh, wow. Wow. So when it comes to all these different products, like how many SKUs, or you don't have to be specific, but is it thousands of parts?
We have over 2 million SKUs in our library.
Holy cow. Active?
Active. On
Wow.
the fabricated side, we ran around a report this week because we're moving things from one process to another. Just in the cutting side, I have 642,000.
No kidding.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. So similarities in terms of what's being fabricated, or does it run the gamut? Thickness,
it's the
sizes?
gamut. We go from 2-inch all the way down to 22 gauge steel, hot roll, galvanneal, aluminum. We have our aluminum line. We run 88 different extrusion profiles.
My goodness.
So we continue to grow that. When I started with the company, we had 4 design draftsmen, engineers. We have about 160 today.
No kidding.
And I'm a part of the fabrication group that has to, whatever they come to FabTech and dream of,
Right.
I got to figure out if we can make it or not.
Yeah.
We have, 160 designers, and then I have a few programmers and manufacturing engineers that say whether we'll do something or we'll not.
So has that conversation gotten better over the years in terms of you not receiving drawings like we can't do that? Or is the conversation more efficient between the floor and maybe those engineers?
We use SolidWorks today. I can remember when we were charted drawings back in the day. So we've converted everything. I think SolidWorks is a extremely powerful tool if everything's turned on.
Right.
With automation, we want to eliminate interferences. What I've seen in the last 5 years, we've taken all of our tolerances and cut them in half.
No kidding. Wow.
So in order to do that, you have to have very precise fabrication equipment to do that. It's not you got a welder, a hammer, and a grinder to fix a gap. You don't want to have the gap from the start.
Yeah. Was it the motivation for that automation on the shop floor, having those tolerances?
Labor,
Okay.
the lack thereof labor
Oh,
as
right.
we've grown.
Yeah.
We want to figure out how we can do things in a more streamlined fashion than we did before. 85% of our product is custom product. So my design engineers have anywhere from 200 to 1,000 new parts each day that they're trying to add to the system.
Oh, wow.
No kidding. So speaking of streamlining, Greg, I mean, how do you keep that many SKUs and that many custom features and parts going through in an efficient manner?
We have a very complicated ERP system that it's home built.
Oh, wow.
And we call it KBS, Knapheide Business System.
Okay.
And it's continuing to evolve over the years. I mean, we've used multiple systems off the shelf, but really to make it work, we use our own.
What drove you initially to start writing your own software? I mean, that's a huge undertaking.
Safety, keeping our growth and our system safe. So
Okay. Yeah.
How's the shop floor look in terms of organization? If someone walks in, what are they looking at?
We have a very dynamic shop floor. We have a fabrication operation, probably around 100,000 square foot, and then our assembly operation in our primary facility, 400,000 square foot, and then we go into paint, and that's in one building. We mimic that with another building, aluminum.
Okay.
So all aluminum products and extrusions. On our steel side, we're still primarily welding. On our aluminum, we're using adhesives, fasteners, riv nuts, torque screws, bolts to put everything together. So we eliminated the welding.
Wow.
Why is that?
Durability.
Okay.
Wherever you weld on aluminum or cut aluminum, it's going to crack more than likely. So the
Interesting.
less you do of that, the better off we are.
How long has Knapheide approached aluminum like that?
Since 2016.
Wow.
So we started fabricating aluminum internally in 2019.
Oh, okay.
So
there's
it's fresh.
preparation.
Yeah.
Oh. Was it a particular job that pushed you in the way of aluminum, or did you kind of foresee that aluminum made sense?
Originally, because of weight, we went to aluminum to reduce the weight. So, the guys in the field could put another toolbox in their truck.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah.
Before. So aluminum's about 40% less in weight. Originally, we started doing standard products.
Yeah.
No one wanted standard products.
Right.
So we had a vendor fabricating all the standard products. And we'd ship it in and put it together. Real quick, prototyping was not speedy at that time, 2018, 2019. So we bought our own equipment so we could prototype overnight, and then we started selling custom product. Instead of quantities of 10 or greater, now we'll do one-offs every day.
No kidding. Wow.
With 85% of your products being custom, how is that in terms of demand on your time and I guess go back to your ERP system, but in my mind, it would seem like the demands on your turnaround would just be extraordinary.
We've reduced our lead times from 52 weeks 2 years ago to, on our custom products, to 8 to 9 weeks now.
Wow.
And then if you want painted product, it would be 2 weeks more. But when the business, everyone's had a little bit of downturn in the economy.
Okay.
We're seeing, sales 40 to 60% less than they were a year ago.
Oh.
But we want to be prepared for when it goes the other way with the new equipment and the expansions that we've done, that we can hold our lead times at a 10 or a 12-week period versus that 40-week that we saw 2-3 years ago coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
Sure.
So is it a real challenge for Knapheide with so much custom work being done, and there's not a plethora of people to hire? It's not like you're asking someone to come in and do the same thing all day so they get good at it. I mean, I imagine somebody's day on the shop floor is varied just based on stuff coming that way.
I've mentored a lot of people, and the first thing I tell them is to be a sponge. Whoever we put them with, job shadowing or to learn their job, be a sponge and learn everything you can. And then the tools and the equipment that we have are, we're only touching maybe 10% of the capabilities.
Yeah.
If you can get someone that wants to really reach out and learn more about the equipment that's out there, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You can get them to do more and more on their own.
Yeah. So, and obviously investing in a lot of cutting edge, I would say, modern equipment. I assume you got robotic welding.
We do have robotic welding. We have, a lot of the stuff you see here today.
Yeah.
We have those products. The fabrication side, there's multiple companies that we've got products from, to include Salvagnini. All of them have their different niche that can be successful in our operation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Greg, one thing I was curious about in terms of the kind of people you look for in this hard to dig up labor market, what kind of person are you looking for?
Well, I would tell you that if I could find 100 farmers that had a dairy background, I would hire them all.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I come from a dairy background, so tell me about that.
This is utterly ridiculous.
The dairy farmer never sleeps. His job is never done, right?
Right.
And that's the same thing with a fabricator. There's always something you can do differently to get to the end result. So I have some very successful former dairy farmers or engineers that came out of a farming background.
Well, they're jacks of all trades. I mean, you got to do everything for yourself.
I have a farming background, and I still farm today. You make things last longer as a farmer.
Yeah.
You're always trying to do better than the prior year or the prior day.
Sure.
So if you can find that quality in people, it's very important, and they'll be very successful.
Mm-hmm. They tend to be pretty teachable, too.
I'm not an engineer by trade, but that's what I do every day with the people that I work with. We try to find the best way or the best method to do things.
There you go.
Yeah. But I think that kind of has to do with being self-sufficient. And in a way, in modern manufacturing, maybe not self-sufficient, but problem solving is a skill people kind of look for. Has Knapheide found a way to kind of, even though there may be a dearth of people out there to plug into open positions at Knapheide, have they found some success in reaching out and finding that next generation worker?
Well, I've been with the company 30 years, and when I started, we had 180 total employees. Today, we're around 3,800.
No kidding. Wow.
And one key factor that really helped us, we started our own welding program also. We call it the Knapheide Welding Program. We started it 25 years ago.
No kidding. Wow.
And it's been very successful to help our people become successful. We've put CWIs out in the field to help further our business. We don't want something falling apart out in the field.
Preferably not. Yeah. Especially in oil and gas or something.
Yeah.
Touchy like that. As a leader and as a veteran in this industry, where have you seen things evolve the most? Is it the technology? Is it the labor situation? What's changed the most under your watch?
Well, under the fab shop, the cutting skills have become better. We used to have 8 shears in our operation. I have 2 now. I want to get to 1. Lasers have been definitely cutting edge. Consistency in bending, we're seeing the panel benders, things that we couldn't do years ago, we can do now. Every part that we design that needs a profile bent in it, I want to be able to do it on a press brake first.
Okay.
If I can do it on a press brake, I can do it on a panel bender.
Yeah.
So those are 2 of the things that we've seen become very successful.
Yeah. Well, a lot more streamlined. Yeah.
So do you have to prototype every design?
We do one-offs every day. We don't do prototypes per se, unless it's a body style.
Right.
And we would put it through a very extensive testing process, similar to what Ford, General Motors, or Chrysler would do. We'll put it on a body. We'll shake it. We'll rattle it, roll it. We'll
do all that in Quincy.
We'll abuse it. We have a state-of-the-art system to test products.
Do you have an abuse department?
Yeah, we have a staff of probably 12 that work in there that just shake, rattle, and roll things.
No kidding.
Nice.
It's kind of interesting that the transition you made on the aluminum side with the non-welded fixtures. I mean, obviously that's got to be proven out before it hits the streets.
The welding or the aluminum side probably took the most tests. Weeks and weeks and weeks of testing.
Yeah, so I worked on a story, I think it was like last year, and the amount of adhesives that are used in trucking. Like, people don't understand. Like, these things are actually held together, not by rivets and not by welding. I mean, it's adhesive. So, I mean, it's there and being proven out there on highways every day.
Well, if you weld and grind, you create a blemish. Everyone wants an automotive finish on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So as you walk the floor here, I will say I think the buzz is a little not as great as maybe you see online in some product videos, but the use of AI to help with decision making in software, maybe inspection tools, just in general with some of these machine tools getting smarter. Is it translating to more efficiency for a company like yours, or is it kind of still not yet to be embraced and kind of have the effect that maybe people think it should?
We are using AI probably more as a employee tool for, awareness, training, than we are on the shop floor with machinery.
Right.
The CPUs of machines sometimes aren't where technology is immediately. You might be 2-5 years prior or later to get that to work. So, and you don't want to throw a machine away that you just gave a couple $1 million for. You want to wear it out, right?
Yeah.
I've got one press brake right now that it's a 1982 model. I've estimated it has about 600 million hits.
Whoa.
So did we get our money out of that one? Yeah. And, our first panel bender, it was a Salvaghini. It's 2520. In less than 2 years, we have around 6 million hits and over 500,000 parts already. So
No kidding. Yeah, those panel benders are they're fun to watch in the sense that
they're exciting.
Yeah. I would feel confident more in front of a panel bender than probably a press brake. You keep me away from that.
Yeah, keep you away from the...
So, are your machines, do you view uptime as a metric that's important, but dealing with the variety that you do, does that necessarily mean that everything has to be busy?
With the fleet of equipment that we have, and we have, I have a steel weld shear that was built in 1952. We have very limited downtime on any of our equipment.
Yeah.
Across the fleet of equipment we have,
Are you running 24/7?
6 days a week.
Wow.
Okay.
24/6.
Wow. So I mean, it's a busy shop floor. How do you incorporate new technology when every hour is it's important to keeping parts going off the floor?
A few good people.
Yeah.
You get the right person that wants to learn that technology, and he'll drive it.
Right. So find an internal champion almost.
And we have some good ones.
Do y'all have a new advanced? Like I've seen some companies go to like an advanced manufacturing team, or maybe they'll send a core group who's going to work with it to kind of vet it out. Do y'all have anything like that?
We don't have any spare equipment. We use everything. So, and we use all of our people.
Yeah.
I would say that would be a great future endeavor. We have continuous improvement teams.
Okay.
We have all of our weld inspectors. We have the quality groups that we didn't have when I started. And all those teams working together have made us successful.
Yeah. It's great business. Do you feel like Knapheide's prepared for the future? Because it seems like your company's in an interesting situation where there's more focus on the trades, more people will be entering the trades, and maybe there'll be more demand for your products as people kind of embrace that career path.
We kind of want to be the Walmart of the truck industry. We want to have every item that AT&T or whoever would want.
Right.
If they want decals on a car, we want to be able to, do that. So we have to have a broad range of people in our different locations to do that. We have 34 equipment locations where we take the utility bed that we build in our operations group and we mount it on the trucks throughout the country.
Those upfitting locations that you have? Yeah.
So we have about 500 bays that we could upfit trucks on. Having the bays would control the business. We want to continue to grow that in the target regions where the trucks are at.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you do see those trucks out there. I mean, it's one of those deals like once you know, and then you start looking for
So
it.
if there's a manufacturer, we typically have a upfit facility is what we call them near that location. So
Yeah. Is the Knapheide customer base mainly U.S., North America?
Primarily. We've done some government contracts,
Okay.
overseas stuff through GSA, Government Services Agency, over the years, but primarily it's domestic. Still a lot of growth opportunity and potential there.
Yeah.
And we have competitors.
Oh yeah.
So-
Oh yeah. Hey, and I will say Knapheide's a fun follow, like on LinkedIn, because I mean it's a big company, and the company flies customers in for a day in Quincy to kind of take in everything you've kind of described to us. And is the shop floor a selling tool for the company overall, you think?
Definitely. When you come through our floor and see what our people are doing every day, I mean, that really sells to a lot of customers.
Yeah.
It's an amazing shop floor. I mean, we go from flat sheet metal to painted product to a truck in a very short location. We continue to expand when others, might hide their head in the sand. We just added a 153,000 square foot addition to our original building
Wow.
that was built in 1997. With that, we put in about 100,000 square foot parts storage warehouse.
No kidding.
We added space for fabrication, and now we're working on an additional 3-acre laydown area. Earthwork is going on in Quincy today,
Wow.
and we continue to grow, across the country. If you go to Phoenix, there's a new facility going up in Phoenix. Memphis, Tennessee we just bought a company down there, and we're adding a upfit facility. Across the country, you'll see a lot of Knapheide movement.
Yeah. So how much manufacturing space do you have in Quincy now, square footage wise?
Good question. Over a million square
I was
feet.
wondering. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you the major employer there?
We are one of the major employers. The hospital is the number one employer in Quincy,
Yeah.
along with Titan Wheel. So largest wheel manufacturer
Oh,
in the
wow.
world's located in Quincy. So
In
the
Quincy,
home
Illinois.
headquarters.
A lot of big names.
Nice.
So,
We have competition for
Oh,
welders
Yeah.
Sure.
in our area.
Quality
a lot of
people.
competition.
Absolutely.
So before we started, you had mentioned you've been with Knapheide 30 years.
30 years.
Come this October. Did you have any idea that your career would kind of play out the way it did?
Well, I was a manufacturing guy. I was in ops. I was in assembly for a good first 5 years of my career. I was always the guy that complained about fabrication. How come my parts aren't available? How come my parts aren't to tolerance? So when our fabrication guy left, guess what? Greg, you complain so much, you can go down there and fix that.
Now you can probably
Been there ever since. Around 25 years I've been in fabrication.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well,
It's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's and I'm sure just the scope of the company too has got to be pretty exciting. And I think for a lot of people, we try to, as our association FMA, promoting career as a manufacturing path. I mean, that's a great example. I mean, there's got to be a lot of opportunity for folks that work at the company, I would imagine.
Originally when I started, there wasn't a lot of movement. If you were a coach or a line supervisor, you might be there for a long period of time. Now, 6 months, 12 months, they're moving to another position, which is great. In my position, I'm involved in just about every operation of the business on a daily basis, whether it's HR, bringing in new people, or, the labor side of the business. I'm deeply involved in that. Design, prototyping, We have a lot of variance in what I get to see every day.
Yeah.
New equipment. I mean, that's the fun
Right.
part.
Yeah.
Being here today, that's fun.
So I was looking online to see the correct spelling of your name, and there's another shooty working for Knapheide. Related or not?
I have one, I'll call it a second cousin that works there,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And there's a couple more that are there. Quincy, Illinois. So Mississippi River, if you wanted to get to Quincy in 1845, you came from the east or you came up the Mississippi River. So German immigrants came up the Mississippi River on a paddle boat. Quincy or Fort Madison, Iowa were the last two stops. The river was not dammed, so that's where you got off. So the Shooty family, there were 4 brothers that came from northern Germany. 3 of them got off in Quincy, Illinois. They were carpenters. My family got off in Fort Madison, Iowa. They were farmers. Ended up back in the same area. I always tell the Quincy Shooties that they give my last name a bad name. They give them a bad rap. So,
Because they weren't farmers.
no.
I like that you were well prepared for that answer. That was impressive.
Nice. Yeah.
The reason I'd ask that is, even though it may not be close relations, but I imagine in a community like that, there's probably generations of people that work for the company.
A lot of generations. Even on my mother's side, some of her relatives had worked for the Knapheide family, 100 years ago.
Wow.
No
The
kidding.
Knapheide company started in Quincy in 1848. At that time, there were 18 wagon builders in Quincy, Illinois.
Wow.
Just in one city.
We're the only one left.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
And you're not making wagons anymore, of course, but
no wagons.
Well,
Another analogy is, there were car companies that, built wagons too. One of them was Studebaker. Where are they at today?
yeah.
they're gone.
Knapheide's still in business, right?
Wow.
You're gonna laugh. This is the second day a Studebaker reference was made during a podcast. We're
Wow.
talking with somebody who was South Bend the other day.
I didn't watch it yesterday.
They made some nice cars.
No, I think that the legacy of manufacturing. I mean, it may not be as in front of people's faces nowadays, but it's still vibrant in the U.S. and many people expect it to be even more so in the coming years. Do you get that feel?
I do.
Yeah.
Our company is 177 years old. Look at the international flair that's here today. Some of those companies that are, the European companies are 200, 300 years old. So, history is important, right?
Yeah. No, it's exciting to kind of share the tale. Well, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Well, thanks for the time, and I appreciate
great
everything
having
that you
you.
guys have done. I've read all of your articles over the
Well,
years.
that's awesome.
Continue to do that,
Thank you.
and hopefully we'll
Means a lot.
continue to grow in the future.
Yeah,
Thanks a
no,
lot.
it's exciting to hear about a company that people may not recognize, but is a great representation of like metal fabricating to me. Y'all touch so many different segments, like fabricators in general.
Definitely. There's no boredom at the company that I work for.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, I think that might be a perfect pitch for anybody who's considering a career in manufacturing. You can find a place you're not bored. That's going to be a plus. So thanks so much. Thanks for Salvagnini once again for sponsoring this. If you have any comments or suggestions, please send them to podcast@fmamfg.org. And we thank you for your time.
So long.
Bye-bye.
The Fabricator Podcast is a production of Fabricators and Manufacturers Association, located in Elgin, Illinois. The show is hosted by Dan Davis and the staff of FMA Communications. The podcast is produced by Gareth Sleger and recorded and edited by Griffin, Hammond, and Dana Wiker. Sales support provided by Andy Flando. Additional production support by Elizabeth Gavin, Mike Owens, Billy Kulpa, Pat Simon, Brandon Geyer, and me, Sarah Spring. Email us at podcast@fmamfg.org. Thank you for listening.
Hello, welcome to the Fabricator Broadcast.